Folks, welcome back. It's been a long time coming. As you guys can see, I am here live from the mountaintop. As you can see, it is nothing but air up here. And my friend Gimme Ghoul right over there. Say hi to the Gimme Ghoul. But as you can see, we're at the mountaintop because we won our last Wi-Fi division, which was the WPF Delta division, which was in its first season. Big shout outs to the squad for winning that. And we actually won another league in the process of winning WPF, which was the BBLC. And so that means that we basically I played in like 4 leagues, and I went and combined like 2 and 7 over those Wi-Fi games. We ended up first place in one, semis in another, winning with WPF, and then also winning a BBLC. So it is super cool to be back, be on the mountaintop for a little bit. Maybe I'll have to hop off after we see this draft in these first few games, to say the least. But we're here, and let's get started into our new league. We're going to be in PPL, which is hosting a D League, which has the Bolt and the Flare Division. I guess, Unova's coming back. It's getting hyped. So we're in the Reshiram, the Flare Division, which is the mostly American division. God bless the country, because I don't want to deal with the Europeans at the moment. I don't like scheduling with those time zones. I might have to schedule with a certain Australian, but it is what it is. We are going to be playing a lot of new folks, a lot of old folks as well. So it's time to folk around, and let's get on into our draft review. I don't know if anybody's done this before, but I'm actually going to be looking at the draft from the last pick all the way back to the first. I think it's kind of cool. PPL right now, we're all about experimenting, and so I'm just gonna fuck around and let's see what happens. Up first, though, we got the big man. We got Altaria. It is a Pokemon every MJ needs its Scottie Pippen, and of course, if we're gonna pair Altaria with something, we need another demon at the 1 point tier, and we of course got the Giraffe Rig. This one is going to be a lot of fun with Wish, with passing, with the ability to get up some funny rooms like Trick Room and Gravity Room as well. I'm very excited to use this one, and I actually have an IRL friend who likes Pokemon from a distance, and this is his favorite mon as well. So shout outs, you know who you are, and let's go Giraffe Rig. Starting off with the real Pokemon, we have the regular Quillfish. I almost said Hisui. I get confused as to whether or not this thing can bring Eviolite, but if I don't throw, then this thing might get an item, and it'll actually be kind of cool to use. I like the fact that it's a grounded poison. I like that it can flip turn. I like it has Intimidate and Haze to be able to mess with people. Also getting access to Toxic. It's kind of a commodity in this gen, so that's kind of cool as well. But overall, I like that it has a lot of little supportive things. And we're going to draft another water. It's not just going to be the Quillfish, so don't worry. But it's a fun mon I've used in the past, and I'm going to use it now. Starting off with our Terra Captains, we have Appleton. This is our, I guess not first, our second Terra Captain. And this is basically the thing that grants me the ability to have a chance at winning versus Iron Bundle. I don't have another Iron Bundle switch for the rest of the team. Up next, we got Fortress, the Nut. And I kind of like this mon. It's going to be fun to be able to get up varied hazards. I like that it pairs nicely with Quillfish, being able to get up spikes, T-spikes. This one also gets rocks as well. And it can Volt Switch just like Quillfish can Flip Turn and get in those stronger Pokemon as well. It's also going to be a spinner, which is very, very nice too. Just being able to get off some hazard control is good, and it's something that I didn't really have in WPF whatsoever. My best form of hazard control, which is winning the fucking game. And I mean, I could do that. At least after week 3, I did that for the most part. But having some actual spinning potential is going to be very nice on this team. I don't know why this next mon fell to me, but Ogerpon at round 7 is pretty crazy. It's just the rock one, just cornerstone, but I think that's kind of all we need. It's going to be a cornerstone of the team, if you know what I mean. Just being able to get off some big hits with Ivy Cudgel going as rock type, being able to get off a physical accurate rock move is going to be super cool, and it's something that I get to laugh in the face of everybody else in the league for, because nobody gets to do that unless they brought Terra Rock, and in that case, they are choking. So I like this mon, I like the speed tier, I like the offensive presence. It also gets knock, plus spikes, plus leech, plus U-turn, plus spiky shield. Lots of funny things, and so I hope to bring some of those funny things to some of the games. On the topic of fast offensive presences, we have Azelf being able to get up rocks, being able to get up some big hits with psychic, with maybe some physical moves as well. Not that it really gets a good physical psychic move, but being able to have the ability to go physical and special at that speed is going to be very nice. And the ability to just get up rocks and also just blast itself is going to be kind of nice too. You know, if this mon can trade, given how offensive the rest of the team is going to be, as you guys will see, this mon is going to be very nice just to be able to trade. And if I can just get rocks plus a kill, this mon is in a phenomenal spot. So big shout out to Stazelf for that role. Up next, we have the playoff MVP of WPF on our team. And no, it is not Omniterra King Gambit. I wish I had that mon, but I do not. And so as a result, we'll have to go with the playoff GOAT of WPF. This mon got 6 kills. Omni Gambit got 5. And that mon is, of course, hisuian Electrode. We ball. And this time we got Stabs. Yes, this is going to be our Terra Captain. Stabs plus Ice looks absolutely money offensively into every single team. And the ability to Volt Switch looks really cool as well. Just being able to get off some very good hits and get in to the next attacker. I really like this thing's speed, of course. I mean, it's one of the fastest mons in the game. I also really like its limited move pool, but you can still make a lot out of it just because it's so fast. And so just being able to slap on these Terra types, giving it better offensive capabilities and potential, it's going to be a phenomenal mon. And I'm probably going to bring it to every game. I really hope so, because this mon is so cool. Up next, this is another mon that I used in a Wi-Fi league pretty recently that I also uploaded to YouTube at some capacity, and I really wish I didn't if you've seen any of the league, but it was Quaquaval, and this is a fun mon. I really like its ability to snowball and stuff like that, and I want to give this thing a fair chance. In GBA, I didn't draft the team at all. I had no say in the team. And I also only played 3 games, 2 of which I was brought on with short notice, so I didn't really have the time to be able to make a team. Like for week 1, I was brought on at work, and I had to make a team during lunch. So I, didn't really have a lot of choices in the matter, but just being able to have a league that I can use Quaquaval in is going to be very nice. I pick the mons, I pick the movesets, and maybe that's a bad thing that I get to pick the movesets, but I like its ability to get momentum, snowball, flip turn, rapid spin. Nobody's going to run rapid spin, but maybe like SD or something like that. I think it's going to be very fun, and I'm excited to see this mon. If you thought we were done with the water types, you are dead wrong. We have like 3 1/3 of them with the Appleton. I guess 3 1/4 because I don't have to tear the Appleton, so it's like Grass Dragon and then the 3 Terra types. But we got Azu. This one is the water GOAT, hands down. I think at Gen 9, just being able to take out those top tiers is super nice, and I think just Azu's bulk plus offensive capabilities just slaughters most of the top tiers. It can take a hit, and then it can also body back, and so I'm very excited to use this mon again. The first time I used this mon was in Gen 8. I brought it on a Sun team, and I fell in love with it because its ability to just fire off strong fairy physical hits as well as strong water hits is completely unique. And so I'm very excited to have this mon back on the team. And as you can see, a lot of mons can pivot, they can flip turn around. This is going to be one of the mons that I'm going to want to pivot into, because if I can get this thing free, without having to take damage or anything on the last turn, it's going to be so good to just fire off a nuke of a hit. Speaking of familiar mons, we got another familiar mon, a mon that is near and dear to my heart, Mr. OU himself, and I don't think he's really Mr. OU anymore. That belongs to some other ground types, but, he's there. He kind of fell off in Gen 9, and he kind of did in Draft as well, not having Knock, not having Explosion, not having Rock Polish as well. Very, very useful, because Draft is such a niche metagame in terms of the teams that you bring. You're never going to bring the same team. So having all those moves is super nice. But Landorus, it is a mon that I love, and being able to get off a very strong Earthquake, being able to intimidate and U-turn, potentially intimidate spam with the Quillfish as well is very, very nice. And getting up rocks is going to be super useful as well. Just being able to whittle down the team, or potentially just take the game in its hands and just spam EQ or spam, some scarf moves. It's going to be super fun to use. I had this mon on my #1 Natdex team. I also had this mon on my #1 INT team in Draft. And so I'm very excited to bring this mod back and to show y'all what I can do with it. Now, as you can tell with a team like this, we have so much pivoting. Everything can get in and out, and the goal is to just be able to get things in that want to be in. And there is no mon in draft that you want to get in more than my first overall pick. Now, we were in the 12th spot, and so I didn't really have a lot of choices as for my picks. You know, we were coming back to the wheels, so I know I could grab like Landers or something like that. It was 12 out of 14, mind you, not 12 out of 16, so it's kind of like a pseudo wheel, if that makes any sense. But we got a mon that is going to be the focal point of this hyper offensive team, and that is Chi-Yu. Yes, it is a mon that I'm not particularly fond of. That being said, it is a mon that deals damage regardless. I'm just the guy that hates his high tier Pokemon. I didn't like Palafin a whole lot back in the day. I didn't like Landorus, although that mon is still shit. Palafin, I respect. But Chi-Yu, I've seen other people use it, and I feel like it's not that it was underutilized, but I think it's just a hard top tier to be able to effectively use. And I think that was just shown by other people. I think it's just not the Pokemon that is as reliable as a top tier as you would want it to be, maybe. And so I kind of want to take on this challenge of being able to use it and to just gear everything around getting the Chi-Yu in. I think that's how it's going to be most effectively used. If I can just know I'm clicking a pivoting move, especially with the Hisuian Electrode, or a Scarf Landers, or an Ogerpon, or an Azelf, or even the slow pivots like Fortress, like Quillfish, like Superpower Azu, I guess, if it even gets that. Like the Draft Rig. If I can just use those pivoting moves to get in Chi-Yu as much as I can, this mon's gonna shred. I mean, there just isn't a switch in. Except for my round 1 opponent, who has like a Chansey, and a Hisuian Gudra, and a Lolamuck, and Dondozo. But, you know, other than that, this mon really just does break. And so I'm very excited to be using this mon, and I'm excited to be using this team. Who knows, maybe we'll start just like we did in WPF. Maybe we won't, maybe we'll win out. I don't think that's likely, I really don't. But other than that, I'm very excited to use this team. And with that being said, that's the draft for PPL. I'll be seeing you guys in about 24 hours or so for week 1 against Daryazard. And so I'm very excited to showcase that. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.